We really need to talk about this massive shift that's happening right now in how companies handle data. It's a move away from a process that, let's be honest, we've all felt the pain of, and towards something way, way smarter. We're talking about going from the absolute headache of moving data to the power of simply sharing access. So, to really get why this matters, you have to appreciate the incredible scale we're dealing with. IDC thinks that by 2025, the world will be creating 180 zettabytes of data. I mean, that's a 1 with 21 zeros after it. It's just a mind-boggling number. But here's the thing. The amount of data isn't the problem. It's what we do with it. And that right there, that's the core problem, isn't it? Having all this data is great, but making it useful, getting it to the people, the teams, the partners who actually need it right when they need it, well, that's been a massive, messy challenge for years. So first, let's dive into that challenge. We're going to call it the data sharing headache, because for way too long, the methods we've been using were, frankly, fundamentally broken, and they caused a ton of pain. I'm betting this sounds super familiar to a lot of you, right? Maybe you needed a report from another department, or a partner was asking for your latest sales data. The whole process was just painfully slow, it was begging for errors, and it was so frustrating. Everyone ends up working from these different, slightly out-of-date copies of the truth. It's a mess. The core of this headache, really, the source of all that frustration, it came down to one simple, deeply flawed idea. You always had to make a copy of the data and then move it somewhere else. And the ways we moved it, so clumsy. I mean, emailing files, you hit size limits instantly, and it's a total security nightmare. FTP was a little better for big files, but it's rigid and slow. And ETL pipelines, sure, they're powerful, but they are complex, they're expensive, and they always introduce latency. The data is basically stale the second it arrives. Even modern APIs still end up moving copies, creating bottlenecks and risk. And this pain is very, very real. Just look at Snagajob, the job board. Their process to share data took days. It was this whole manual chain of extracting, zipping, encrypting, emailing, and then the partner had to undo it all on their end. Days just to get the data before any real work could even begin. For Localytics, a mobile analytics platform, the consequences were even worse. All this constant copying led to inconsistent results for their customers. Can you imagine two people looking at the same dashboard and seeing totally different numbers? And a 3-hour data latency? In the world of mobile analytics, that's basically ancient history. And then there's the hidden cost, which is maybe the worst part. Heap Analytics realized their top-notch engineers weren't even focused on building a better product. No, they were totally bogged down just maintaining the infrastructure to share data. They were basically becoming a data pipeline company by accident, which was not their business at all. So here's the bottom line. All of these technical problems create massive business problems. Your data gets trapped in silos, reporting is a total mess because nobody has the same version of the truth, costs shoot up, productivity tanks, and hey, if you actually have valuable data you want to sell, good luck getting that to market anytime soon. Okay, so that's the old world, painful, slow, and completely broken. But then came this fundamental shift in thinking, one powered by some really cool new technology. The solution wasn't a better way to move copies, it was to stop moving copies altogether. This right here is the new paradigm. Instead of packaging data up and shipping it off, a provider simply grants a consumer secure, live, read-only access to the data exactly where it is. The data never moves. Access is instantaneous. It's a total game changer. This one comparison really sums up the whole story. It's a complete flip. Instead of moving copies, we're sharing live access. We go from a slow, manual process to something instantaneous and automated, from high latency and stale data to real-time information, and from an insecure, complex mess to a simple, governed, and secure system. So how is this even possible? Well, it's not magic. It's actually a brilliant 3-step architecture. First, you decouple storage and compute. That just means your data lives in one place and the engines that query it live separately. Second, a smart services layer acts like an air traffic controller, managing every single request to make sure everyone sees the exact same up-to-the-second data. And finally, this separation allows for massive concurrency, which means sales, marketing, and finance can all run huge queries at the exact same time without ever slowing each other down. And the results of this new way of thinking? They are absolutely staggering. Remember Snagajob and their process that took days? it went down to mere hours. And Lookalytics data latency for customers, that dropped from 3 hours to just 3 minutes. That's not just an improvement. That's a complete transformation of their business. But this is about so much more than just fixing old problems. This new way of sharing unlocks entirely new opportunities and lets businesses treat data in a way they never, ever could before. And what's really crucial here is that this is often more secure than the old way. You get this amazing toolkit for precise control. With secure views, you can share a whole table but automatically hide sensitive columns, like personal info. You can use functions that let a partner analyze your data but only get back an aggregated answer, like total sales, never the raw customer details. And secure joins let two companies analyze their overlapping customers without ever exposing the customers they don't share. It's incredible. And having this kind of security and control enables a huge mindset shift. Data stops being just this simple byproduct of your operations, this digital exhaust. It becomes a strategic asset, something with real, tangible value that you can leverage, protect, and even turn into a business. Right. Because when sharing is this easy and secure, you can build entirely new business models around your data. You can sell direct access to data sets. You can offer data enrichment services. Or you can package your insights and sell them as a subscription service. Your data actually becomes a profit center.
So if you're sitting there thinking, okay, I want this, the good news is there's a really clear path to get there. It's a journey for sure, but it's a totally manageable one.
The blueprint is a pretty straightforward 6-step process. You start by figuring out your current pain points. Then you define your role. Are you a data provider or a consumer? After making sure your platform has the right tech, you run a small, high-value proof of concept. From there, you plan your outreach, and finally, you execute. You measure the ROI, and you prove the value so you can scale it up.
So let's end with this thought, because honestly, we've only just scratched the surface. If data can flow this freely, this securely, between departments, between whole companies, and even across entire industries, what becomes possible then? What incredibly complex problems in healthcare, in finance, in logistics could we finally start solving if data was no longer the barrier, but the bridge? The potential is just vast.